Good evening and welcome to Just the News. I'm Faye D'Souza. We begin the news today with two pieces of bad news. A week after the Indian Air Force chopper crashed in Tamil Nadu's Kunur district, the lone survivor of that crash, Group Captain Varun Singh, has passed away today. Group Captain Singh was shifted from the Wellington Hospital in Tamil Nadu to the Command Hospital in Bengaluru for treatment, but he succumbed to his injuries. The Indian Air Force confirmed this today on Twitter and said, and I quote, "The IAF is deeply saddened to inform the passing of Braveheart Group Captain Varun Singh, who succumbed this morning to injuries sustained in the helicopter accident of the 8th of December 2021. The IAF offers sincere condolences and stands firmly with the bereaved family," end quote. Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat, his wife, and 11 armed forces personnel were killed in that crash. What caused the crash, though, is still being investigated in a high-level inquiry. The death toll in the terrorist attack on the police bus in Jammu and Kashmir has risen to 3 after one more police personnel succumbed to his injuries today. As many as 14 police personnel were injured after a bus which was carrying at least 24 cops of the 9th Battalion of the Jammu and Kashmir Indian Reserve Police came under fire from terrorists in the Pantachok area at about 6:50 p.m. on Monday. Officials were deployed in Srinagar city and were returning to headquarters when the attack took place. Inspector General of Police of Kashmir, Vijay Kumar, said Monday's firing by the militants on the police bus in Srinagar was planned and carried out after a recce was conducted in that area. He also said that it seems like the militants had done the recce beforehand, targeted the police vehicle 300 meters from the camp. At the time of the attack, the road opening party had been withdrawn and it had grown dark. The attack took place at a high security zone in Zewan, which is considered one of the most secure areas of Srinagar city. Militants opened fire at the bus while the police personnel were traveling. An update on Omicron right now. India's total number of cases has now risen to 61 as of Wednesday. 8 new cases of Omicron was detected in Maharashtra, taking the Maharashtra number up to 28, the highest in the country. Delhi on Tuesday detected 4 new Omicron cases in the national capital. Now the tally is 6. Health Minister Satyendra Jain, though, said that all of these cases in Delhi are mild, asymptomatic, and the first case has already been discharged from hospital. In the meantime, India reported 6,984 new COVID cases. It's about 20% higher than yesterday, and 247 deaths. WHO's Director General has said the Omicron variant is now spreading at what he called an unprecedented rate. It's been reported in 77 countries. Speaking to reporters on Tuesday, he said, "Let me make it very clear. The WHO is not against boosters, we're against inequality. Our main concern is to save lives everywhere. It's really simple. Priority in every country globally must be for those least protected and not for those most protected." The WHO chief also lamented that some people were dismissing Omicron as a mild variant. He went on to say, "Surely we've learned by now that we underestimate this virus at our own peril. Even if Omicron does cause less severe disease, the sheer number of cases could overwhelm an unprepared health system." Australia, meanwhile, has opened its borders to vaccinated skilled migrants and foreign students after a 2-year ban. The Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, has said that we're going to have to live with the virus. We're not going to let it drag us back to where we have been. We've got one of the highest vaccination rates, which means we can fight this thing. Australia has vaccinated over 90% of its adult population. According to Reuters, the US COVID death toll has now crossed 800,000 or 8 lakh mark. This is according to Johns Hopkins University. President Joe Biden said in a statement that as we head into winter and confront a new variant, we must resolve to keep fighting the virus together. The United States accounts for approximately 4% of the world's population, but 15% of the known deaths due to COVID so far. An update now from Parliament. The BJP has rejected the opposition's demand for the resignation of Union Minister Ajay Mishra, saying the matter is sub judice. This comes after, in Parliament today, several opposition MPs, including Congress leader Rahul Gandhi and TMC's Mahua Moitra, demanded the resignation of Ajay Mishra. Remember, Ajay Mishra's son Ashish Mishra is prime accused in the Lakhimpur Kheri case, where the SIT has now said that it was a pre-planned conspiracy to run over those farmers. It was not negligence. Union Minister Piyush Goyal has said that the probe is underway based on Supreme Court directions. Such comments from the opposition are unfounded. He said parliamentary rules declare that a sub judice matter cannot be discussed in Parliament. In the meantime, the Union Minister Ajay Mishra, who's obviously coming under increasing pressure right now to quit over accusations that his son is facing, was seen today lunging at a video journalist and hurling abuses at the media for asking him questions about his son's case. This is what he can be heard very clearly saying on the video. Don't ask stupid questions. Dimag kharab ho gaya kya? Are you mad? The minister is seen shouting at the journalist who asked about the probe. He also says, mic band karo, which is shut the mic down, as he snatches the mic away from the reporter. An update now from the world of business and economics. This is interesting. The Union Finance Minister today in Parliament informed Parliament that the central government has earned 8 lakh crore rupees in taxes on petrol and diesel in the last 3 financial years. That is an exorbitant amount of money to collect as taxes from Indian citizens in the last 3 years, which includes the pandemic years. Now, of this, a total of 3.7 lakh crore rupees was collected in the 2020-2021 financial year alone. The minister went on to say that central excise duties, including cesses collected on petrol and diesel in the last 3 years, as she broke it down, it was 2 lakh 10,000 crore rupees in 2018-19, 2 lakh 19, 3 lakh 71 in the recent year. Remember, petrol and diesel have both crossed the 100 rupee mark in most of our cities. Most of this is tax being collected by governments, centre and state. One of the excuses, incidentally, that the central government has offered repeatedly over the last year to justify collecting high taxes is that the previous UPA government actually used oil bonds and borrowed a large amount of money, which this government is having to pay back. I just want to point out here that the oil bonds that are owed by the government is 1.5 lakh crore rupees. The government has collected more than 8 lakh crore rupees right now, which means they have the ability to repay those oil bonds 5x if they wanted to at this point. News coming in right now from across the world. Russian President Vladimir Putin and his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping have held a virtual meeting as tensions between Russia and Western countries have escalated. This comes after the Russian military build-up on the border with Ukraine. The Ukrainian government has accused Russia of massing tens and thousands of troops in preparation for possible large-scale military offensive. Putin and Jinping hailed the relationship between Russia and China, the Russian leader declaring them a proper example of interstate cooperation in the 21st century. Here's an update from the world of science. NASA's Parker Solar Probe has touched the sun's outer atmosphere, the corona, for the first time in history. The spacecraft sampled particles and magnetic fields there. Talking about the achievement, the Associate Administrator for the Science Mission Directorate of NASA's headquarters has said that not only does this milestone provide us with deeper insights into our sun's evolution, its impacts on us and its impact on the solar system, but everything we learn about our own star teaches us more about the stars and the rest of the universe. End quote. Well, we've got 2 positive pieces of news for you today. First one is that Indian origin Leena Nair has been named the new CEO of the French fashion house Chanel. Prior to this, Nair was associated with Unilever for 30 years. She was the first woman and the youngest ever Chief of Human Resources Officer at Unilever. She will take up her new position at Chanel in January next year. This obviously, after we've had a series of people of Indian origin taking up high positions in the IT sector or the tech sector across the world, it's nice to see a woman in one of those positions, global positions as well. Also, we brought to you the information that Miss India has won Miss Universe. Harnaz Sandhu And you'll remember from that visual the gown she was wearing while she was crowned in that finale, shot. That gown was designed by Saisha Shinde, a transgender designer, trans woman. And everyone's been complimenting that gown. And Ms. Shinde has put out a statement saying, I'm getting DMs on Instagram, calling it the winning gown, saying it will go down in history. I feel so honored that I got to do this gown, especially for her Naz, who's an absolutely amazing woman. She's a girl with a heart of gold. I feel so honored, end quote. This is, of course, success stories like this mainstream transgender artists and designers and celebrate their success. We need more of that. We need more applause and more celebration for our transgender brothers and sisters. Thank you so much for watching the news tonight. Good night.